Hi everyone, welcome to Straight Talk with Kathy and Friends Together's World AIDS Week address. This year is the 30th anniversary of the world acknowledging December 1st as World AIDS Day. It marks my 27th public World AIDS Day, and it marks my 34th year living with HIV. That's pretty humbling in so many ways. This year particularly, because this year has been one of those years. Some years I come to do this address and it's not been a bad year and it's been all positive stuff and da-da-da-da-da, and not so much this year. We've had a lot of loss in the HIV long-time survivor community, particularly in the South. I can't name everybody we've lost. There's too many, but I would be amiss not to talk about Mark Curtis Jones, because since my first World AIDS Week, Mark has been a part of World AIDS Day shenanigans with me. And so this week, I miss him terribly. I miss waking up every day this week and having some funny cartoon in my box, my inbox, and having a Gibbs rule attached to it. So, Mark, wherever you are, I could use a Gibbs slap this week for sure. So, anyway, it's those of us still here, the fight still goes on. So this year's theme for World AIDS Week is Know Your Status. That's the international theme. Our theme for Friends Together never changes. It's always been the same. Friends Together has been an organization since 1999, and we've never changed our theme. Our Florida Southern students came up with it the first year, and we've stuck to it. I happen to be wearing one of our Florida Southern Friends Together shirts. This one was designed by Katia many years ago, and it's my favorite. And I try to wear it at least 1 or 2 days every World AIDS Week. But our theme for Friends Together always is, today is World AIDS Week. What are you doing about it tomorrow? Because that really is the truth. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, a year, talking about it doesn't cut it. We're never going to get a grip on it if that's all we talk about it. But this year's international theme is Know Your Status. And you would think this many years in testing, most people would know their status, but that's not the case. That's not even the case in the United States, much less worldwide. We've got to do a much better job of that. And you'll see a lot of my posts are hashtagged, and it says, I know my status, do you know yours? And just getting tested one time doesn't cut that either. So I want to talk just a little bit about testing, especially today in the campaigns that you see, because those of you that are involved in the periphery of HIV, maybe you're involved in some activist work, or maybe you're involved in the GLBTQ community, or whatever, in different activist communities, but maybe not directly in the HIV world. You see a lot of U equals U campaigns, those kinds of things, and you may wonder exactly what that means. And basically, U equals U means undetectable, means untransmittable. And it's a little controversial. You won't see Friends Together using it. Some people get mad at me. That's okay. You know me. People love me, they hate me. There's no in between. That's just the way it is with Friends Together. But basically what it stands for is when someone is undetectable, theoretically and scientifically, they're untransmittable, because it's the amount of free-floating virus in someone's bloodstream and that kind of thing. But again, remember, someone is undetectable today, that doesn't mean their medicines don't work tomorrow if they're not compliant, if they get sick, if they're not taking them. And so when you just happen to randomly meet somebody, hook up, and they go, oh, I'm undetectable, that's not what, that's not where this science started out looking or thinking. But a lot of people feel like, that limits how much they need to be tested and all those kinds of things. I don't want to even go down that path. What I want to say to you is, if you are not in a long-term monogamous relationship, committed monogamous relationship, then you need to be tested routinely for sexually transmitted diseases and bloodborne pathogens. Just because somebody may be undetectable with HIV doesn't mean that they can't have other sexually transmitted diseases. And if you're having unprotected sex, then you're at risk to getting other sexually transmitted diseases, other bloodborne pathogens. So sexual responsibility is about your whole body and taking responsibility for everything that's going on inside of it, whether it's self-breast exams, whether it's self-testicular exams, whether it's STD testing. And so we just want you to be safe. We want you to make good choices. We want you to make responsible choices. And so it never has mattered to me who you sleep with, how many people you sleep with, what you do. What you do behind your closed doors, as long as you're not hurting somebody, as long as it's totally 100% consensual and among adults, that is none of my business. But I do want you to make good choices that keep yourself healthy. And so testing is important. So remember that a negative HIV test means that 6 months ago you weren't HIV positive, that probably 90 days ago you weren't HIV positive. But just because somebody's floating around somewhere going, woohoo, here's my negative HIV test, and it's, you know, a year and a half old, that doesn't mean that they couldn't have HIV, right? And so that's where people, you know, don't always really truly know their status. And so when you hear somebody talking about know your status, know your status. That means go get tested together if you're going to be sexually active together. Take the test together, get your test results, have the conversation, practice safe sex, practice safer sex, do the things you need to do to keep each other safe. Ask the tough questions, have the conversations. If you can't ask somebody their status, then you probably shouldn't be sleeping with them. I know that sounds a little old-fashioned. Maybe that's just the mom in me, but you know, those are the things we need to know. And for those of you in college, I know I got a lot of college kids on my page. If you can't tell a guy to wear a condom, then, you know, again, if you can't have the questions, have the conversations, then maybe you should be rethinking about whether we're having sex with this person or not. It just, you know, it's really that simple. Nothing is worth your life. And trust me, I know. I may be 53 years old, but that means I was 18, and I had no choice about my infection, right? But you guys do, you really do. And, you know, a lot is made out there today. People think that HIV is no big deal anymore. You know, people see people looking healthy like I do and think, oh, if I get it, I'll just take some medicine. It's really, truly not that simple. And it's, you know, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to stay healthy. It's a lot of work to look like this. It's a lot of money too. So, you know, we want to get you tested. We want to keep you healthy. We want to keep you on the negative side of things. Heaven forbid, the test comes back positive, HIV is not a death sentence anymore. That's for sure. But your actions, the choices that you make, are how we keep you alive. 90% of living with any catastrophic illness, no matter what it is, are the choices you make above your shoulders to live. And so having plans are really important. And making really good choices and healthy choices are really, really important. So World AIDS Day is about remembering those in the past, celebrating our gains that we've come so far, and shooting for the stars, that one day, we don't have to sit here and make these kind of videos ever again. So it's going to be on all of you one day, all of you that are watching this out there, all the young folks, to make that difference. But until then, learn from folks like me. I had somebody earlier, about 2 months ago, I guess, kind of blow me off. Okay, not just blow me off. I had somebody tell me that old folks like me needed to die off because we didn't know what we were talking about. Let me just be clear. Dinosaurs like me are the reason young folks like you are alive today, living with this disease, and have the services that you have the doctors that you have the medicines that you have, because we were the guinea pigs for the doctors to get you the medicines that you got. So learn from us so that you don't have to relive the past, because unfortunately, in the political climate we live in, anything that you have right now could be taken away from you. So it's up to us all to be together as a community and to continue the fight to keep each and every one of us alive. So until next time, be the boss of your brain.